What's up, all my wonderful friends out there in the YouTube land? Well, I'm glad you guys checked in. So get this. First of all, it's the Bad Wolf, and thank you for all the donations, all the support, whether it's here on the James C. Lovett channel or the Bad Wolf Media channel, also on YouTube. And for those who've gone to the blacksite32.com website, or if you look down below, you'll see the link to all of my merchandise, because now the Wolf has merchandise with lots of great logos, symbols, phrases, and court cases. Oh yes, we got the stuff coming out. These are the things that you guys should be rocking so you can tell people about this channel and about your status. Okay, so that being said, let's jump into it. Now I don't have to apologize because I'm just going to throw this out there because it hurts. All right. First of all, some of the credit goes to law firms. They put up this information, so we're going to kind of do a quick review of what they have. But my problem is that, and I don't know what happened behind closed doors. Well, I think I do. What I'm going to go over is going to talk about the CDC members that have and that own more than 50 patents connected to the vaccination, okay, or that type of equipment. All right. So, or the things associated with it. I don't want to throw around the words too much because we know how they play on here. So, but my problem is that this place removed the full list. And I mean, the full list had some goodies on there. I only remember a couple, and I'm not going to even say them for certain reasons. If I do get it, maybe I'll make an update video and put it in the private area, because obviously must have had some private, well, it had some very important and fire information on there, but they removed it from their site, which means those people, probably the CDC and whoever else and some of these members, reached out to them and said, hey, that's kind of private information, and you know, whatever else. They put the whammy on them. Okay, now that being said, keep in mind that this is coming from people who are lawyers and attorneys, and they got the whammy put on them. But obviously they still felt or feel some kind of way because they still have the main list up. And it's not like it's not true information, but what was on there was fire. So don't email me. I'm not going to go back and forth and answer questions on what it was I seen. Let's just say that they had some stuff on there that showed that there are, I might even say it, let's just say there's a remedy for certain things that are out there that people don't know. And I'm not going to answer any more on here or on email about that. So don't bother me and don't bother these people because they're not going to probably answer it either. But I will say this. If you're curious, look up patents and some of your top virile or things out there related to that, and you might be surprised. That's all I'm going to say. All right, so I digress. Let's jump into it. All right, so the CDC Immunization Safety Office is responsible for investigating the safety and effectiveness of all new vaccines. So remember, guys, this is not advice. This is only educational, entertainment information for American nationals only. All right. So let's get down to the meat and potatoes. Okay. So a lot of people want to say that the CDC is not or is a government agency. Okay. So first of all, they have a founder, which means they at one point in time were in fact a private corporation. Now they have the backing and support of the GOV. So that kind of brings them under the umbrella of being in their pocket. Okay, so quasi, or kind of owned, financed, funded for sure. So the problem came in is that people were saying how can you, if you own patents on these viruses, or if you own you're giving people advice to take these things, but then some of their members own stock in the very companies that are providing these you know, isn't there a conflict of interest there? So not all of them own all the same things. Some of them do, some of them don't. They all own a hodgepodge of different things. and yet together they're making these, and they also own. Well, we'll get to that. Just it makes it a confusing conflicting situation when some of your members own stock in the companies that are benefiting. So the companies are benefiting from what they're putting out. They're benefiting from what they're putting out, and then that all comes in at because these people are making suggestions about who you should go with, and that the government and the people need to be getting these, jabs. So let's go in here and see what they say. All right. So there's 12 members of the CDC ACIP committee that has a significant influence over the health of every member of the American, well, we'll call it the U.S. population. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here's how you can tell how they change this information here. A long list of patents owned by the ACIP and other CDC members. Okay, now peep game. The following is a partial list. So since the time I saved this in my studies and put it in my phone, I should have did a video on it right away. And well, maybe they would have pulled it down by now. So maybe it's a good thing I didn't put all the good info up there. But anyway, I seen it. All right. So I should know better. You need to jump on these things when you get a chance. Okay, so now it says a partial list. So we went from a long list to a partial list. That's because they changed it for reasons. Don't worry, guys. I seen it, and I see you out there. I see you. Okay, of the patents that are owned or shared by members of the CDC and ACIP, including Dr. Paul Ovid or whatever, however you say his last name. Okay, so you're not going to get all the goodies. They used to have a link that took you right to a file that showed it, and I wish I had it. So if I ever get my hands on it again, it'll be in the private section because it's private information, apparently, even though it's all patented and you can search for it. But anyway, so the first one says nucleic acid vaccines for prevention of, however you say, Affidavit infection. Okay, I'm going to muddle through some of the words here that I don't want to use too often. You guys know me. So it says this patent comes into play during the manufacturing process of them for yellow fever and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Next one, various testing methods. So here you can see that they own some of the methods for testing. They own the methods, and some of them own the devices. So when pharmaceutical companies need to test aspects of a new one, they may utilize one of the CDC's patented testing methods, including artificial lung, aerosols, screenings, and whatever else. So there's a wake of, well, if you want to do that testing, we own it. If you want this particular, we own it. If you want the companies that transport it or whatever, we own it. You see what I'm saying here? Just a little something to keep in mind. Remember, educational information. Do your own research. Are you not entertained? All right. So the adjuvant patents, these are components within the, okay, to create an intensified immune reaction. Oh yeah, I told you there's some good stuff in here. So there are components within it intended to create an intensified immune reaction. Now, to be fair, it doesn't say an intensified good or bad one. It just has it in there. Okay? Members of the ACIP own patents on this used specifically in the created for premature babies and full-term newborns. I'll let you do your own thoughts on that. Next. Essayists that assist the development. During the process, manufacturers will often observe biological samples for specific antibodies. CDC owns a patent on the assay that facilitates this monitoring system. I'm not a doctor, nor do I claim to be, so I have my thoughts on what that means. You do your own research or ask your own doctor for information on this or advice. All right. Vaccine quality control. Patents on various aspects of quality control for them are utilized by pharmaceutical companies on a large scale once a new one is actively distributed to the public. So that means that they own the very processes for quality control. So people are making money off of the entire aspect. Now, just to be as a businessman, it is fair to say that if you create something, you should own it, obviously, and be able to profit from it. I'm just saying there's more to this than meets the eye. That's all. So now here's the part that was changed because I used to have a link here, and since then it's been removed for probably private or semi-confidential information to protect individuals of the ACIP and the CDC from people knowing too much about their business, even though it's out there, but you have to do your own research. So it says here, and here's where you can tell that they changed this. Okay. In total, 56 individual patents were found to be owned or shared by one or more members of the ACIP committee or the committees within the CDC. Okay, and then the article goes on to say members claim they are unbiased. Okay, and then they just talk about them, and we're going to leave it here with it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So although they might give away for free, as a company, as a whole, certain people within the ranks or the GOV who have, because those members within the law can own money in stock in the companies that make these and all this stuff. So everyone's getting rich but you. How do I feel about it? Well, that's for another story. But all I can say is this. If you want to get one, go ahead and get one, because I also have stock in those companies too. Whether I like it or not, I have money in them. So for those people out there getting them, thank you from the bottom of my heart. And for those who aren't, I'm glad you made a choice that benefits you personally. That's it, guys. Bad Wolf's over and out. If this is your first time to the channel, don't forget to hit that bell icon and subscribe. This is the Bad Wolf, and my YouTube is James C. Lovett. You can find me there. Talk to you guys later, and stay healthy, stay wise, stay woke, stay aware. Over and out.